Hello guys, my name's Paul Bentley and welcome to the Fitness Feed. Me, personally, I'm a personal trainer and general loudmouth.
definitely a loudmouth. usually your introductions are longer than that, so I was like,
there's not really much to say, is it? Because it'll all come out to the same.
It will. So, I'm Kevin Poole, and I am known as a transformation specialist, personal trainer, coach, all the blah blah stuff to do with fitness.
Not
as much as a loudmouth as Paul, but yeah.
And I'm Jace, fitness instructor, and founder of the Fitness Professional Awards, which I'm probably better known as.
The boss, aren't you? The boss, the Fitness Awards.
Fit Pro boss.
Guys, so there's lots to discuss, but what we really want to get into today is what it's on everyone's mind, isn't it, to be fair, and everyone's affected by it. So we'd like to talk about the pandemic, coronavirus, COVID-19, or whatever you want to call it, other than an annoyance. And if I'm honest with you, what do we know about the coronavirus? Me personally, what I know about it is coronavirus is COVID-19 is a different strand of a coronavirus. Is that correct? Am I right? Is that what it? So COVID-19 is not a coronavirus. Coronavirus is something COVID-19 is created from a coronavirus. Is that right?
I thought it was the other way around.
He means that's what he means. Yeah. He's the other way around. COVID-19 is a strand of a coronavirus.
SARS-2 was a coronavirus.
SARS-2, yeah.
As well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So basically, we're all a bit fucked, aren't we? For now. But what we'd like to discuss is how is it affecting you? How is it affecting you, and everyone else out there? To be fair, it's a bit shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think obviously when the virus came out itself, it was a bit. I think everyone was a little bit up in the air and didn't know really what to do about it and how they felt about it. But then I think it was the shutdown, the lockdown.
Yeah.
The lockdown is where everyone really started to be affected from it, and I got affected. You got affected, Jace got affected, we all got affected by it.
What did you do? Do you know what I done? Honestly, do you know what I done? I ended up like a jippo. I was literally in my yard with a fucking tent.
I've seen the tent.
I got a gazebo. Yeah. Put a gazebo up in my garden. I didn't tell my missus about it, if I'm honest with you, right? It just happened because we'd only found out that I was in dedicated fitness at the time and everyone wasn't going back in the next day, blah, blah, blah. And then I just decided, well, I'll just have to put a tent up because I've got to work. I've got to earn money in some way, shape or form. And I put a tent up, right? And my missus walked in. I don't know what she thought was happening. I mean, fucking hell.
We're going camping tonight, Paul.
I don't even know whether she thought that, to be fair. I think she thought there was something a bit more sinister than camping. I had people going in and out. I had people walking in and out of this tent, and when they were walking in, they were sound, but when they were walking out, they were knackered. But you don't mind it with that, you know. What did you do?
Well, as the same, it was like a Thursday, I think, we got told. I went into work, it was fine that night. They was like, oh, you're not coming back in, that's it, was shut. And I just thought, shit, that's it, I'm not doing anything. Till it was my members got in touch and was like, go live, and we've all got steps. So worked it out, we got some of the members' steps and equipment, sent out, loaned them it all, and then we just done adapt. I had to just literally adapt. I've never done a live in my life, but I'm quite used to them now.
That's it, really. Yeah. That's what adapt. What did you do?
Well, that's it. Because I mean, we got the gym shut down. I work in Fitness for All in Woolton. Beautiful gym, lovely people in the heart of Woolton Village. I love it there.
Are we up to the advertisement stage?
Oh, yeah. No, I do.
Sounds like a nice place.
It's a boss gym, mate. It really is. I love it there, mate. I just couldn't be happier. And so I had to just basically make a conversion over to online. Kept all my clients happy and whatever, but I personally just didn't enjoy that online setting. And I'm going to bring the mood down a little bit now, boys, because it's all about being open and honest. You know what I mean?
Yes,
the first 2 weeks of lockdown, I was bedbound. Literally couldn't get out of bed, struggling, depressed. I didn't know what to do. Just the whole thing just shook me up a little bit, and you know what, Kev,
let me just stop you there, because this is a perfect example of what this conversation should entail, and the reason why is because somebody as high caliber as yourself, in my world, Kev Poole is a big guy, he's a well-known guy. I love the fella, he's great at what he does. Now, if Kev is bedbound off this coronavirus, what we have to consider, rather than pointing the finger at other people and saying should be doing this, should be doing that, we have to consider how has this mentally affected you? Because we're quite strong people. We are. We're quite productive. We're quite positive. And if it's affected somebody like that, like you, how has it affected the public?
Exactly.
Exactly.
You
That's
know,
the point,
it's kind of brought the mood down massively in the city itself. And my own personal opinion on this is that what we've forgotten here is that this is something versus the city. But the city have turned on each other, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, you can see there's a divide.
especially lately.
Yeah, it
It's
just
a lot
seems
lately.
like I'm looking at social media and I'm looking at somebody give an opinion, which we give an opinion on what we know. Okay, well, fucking hell, Facebook, they actually give an opinion on something they don't fucking know what I'm saying. So what I mean is now everybody's saying this to doctors, everybody's professional, everybody knows everything, but instead of actually absorbing somebody's voice and understanding what they might or might not be going through in such a tough time, they seem to have just absconded from giving any form of advice and just saying, well, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. I mean, and the problem with that is, how the fuck do we know what we're supposed to be doing? Because Boris clearly doesn't. So what are we supposed to know?
No, I think we're just, it's every man for themselves at the minute, and everyone's got their own views. We're just kind of like button heads.
Yeah, definitely.
That's exactly what's happening. We're just button heads. You know, you've
Yeah.
got your view, I've got my view, and we're going to clash on that. And I think there's no right or wrong answer with this at the moment because the government don't even know what they're doing. So
I think as well, look, usually you have an opinion and someone else have a different opinion and you just get on with it.
Yeah.
But now it's your opinion doesn't matter because mine.
of course,
mine
mine's
stands
more
and it's-
powerful than
That's
yours.
what it's
Yeah.
But no one's got any facts, true facts
No.
really behind it to say, oh yeah, I should be doing like. Yeah, this is. Oh yeah, I understand you're saying that because of this.
I agree. I think the only fact that we can only agree on at this point is that nobody knows fuck all, but they're all pretending they do.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, obviously, we've had to change our lives a lot. I had to start doing online training. I did still have people in my little weird tent, as strange as it was. I had people, believe it or not, I had neighbours having the police knock. I had the police knock. He's now a fucking client. I had the police knock. I'm not a lying, she's a client. I won't go into it, but the police knocked and they said that your neighbours said that you're having people backwards and forwards. Not literally, but what I mean, right, is, well, they're right, but it was within the rules because you were allowed 1-to-1 PT within your garden, up to 2 people. And that's what was happening. But because people were coming and going, because I'm quite busy, my neighbours, instead of giving me a knock, this is a prime example though, this, guys, because my neighbour, instead of knocking and saying, what's happening, they just decided to phone the police. Oh, it was horrible having the police come to my house. My kids there.
Cane switches.
Yeah, I was
They're like
thinking,
that.
what's wrong with you? Behave yourself. But then, as I say, the police woman and guy, they came, they realised what I was doing was above board, and then they came and changed. It was boss.
It's all about that online platform. That's kind of where I had to go to. Like, and I wasn't a fan of it at first, but then I decided I'm going to do some online classes for everyone, the general public. So I created a Lockdown Live.
Yeah, some free stuff as well.
Free stuff, 5 days
yeah.
a week. I was doing it with me missus, and yeah, it generated quite a bit of.
I saw a few of them actually.
Yeah,
Fair,
quite
isn't it?
Fern, yeah.
You got together, weren't you?
She's
It
boss,
worked.
mate.
It's great.
She's boss,
You were
loves it with
laughing.
me.
It was good. I love seeing that because it made people smile. It made
Exactly,
people laugh.
and that's what we got out of it, enjoyment. You know what I mean?
Fair
And
play.
yes, we loved it. So
Did you have to do any formal lives? You do hit step, your hit step as well, haven't you? So
Yeah, well, Hit Step had done their own thing, but what I realised, my members, obviously it's a lifestyle, so it's got massive numbers of members, so I couldn't expect everyone to have steps, and so I had to adapt and do my own, put my own workouts together and all stuff like that. Some workouts you're not allowed to do, which I got in trouble for doing them.
really?
naughty
Yeah,
boy,
yeah.
Jace.
What type of workouts not allowed to do? Like a doggy style fucking. I mean,
No, it was-
in reality, what can you know? You're not allowed to do.
What the
Don't
problem
fucking
was,
do that. That's mine.
that's exactly what he wanted, basically me to share his workouts to my members, which my members, I know my members better than him, so they didn't want that. They wanted me doing it.
Of course,
So
because you're members.
yeah. So that, well, I thought not an office. I just done it, but got an
Fitness industry strikes again there, doesn't it? Every man for themselves,
Exactly,
isn't it?
exactly.
Every man for themselves.
snide email, and then I just thought, well, sound. That pushed me into do my own, and now that we are allowed back in the gym, I've benefited from that because people seeing my own side of the training rather than relying on other people's workouts.
Well, me and Paul discussing that before actually, and said to him like with the shutdown and the overall pandemic, there's a lot of people who've really suffered, and it's been unfortunate for them. But there's actually a lot of people who've benefited from it as well, and it's opened loads of doors, and people have really taken their opportunity as well.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, it's going back to adaptation, isn't it?
Yeah.
And some people do adapt quite well. And
It's sink or swim, innit?
yeah, of
Sink or
course.
swim.
But as you've proved as well, Kev, because you're a quite strong guy, but even you just sat there and admitted at first.
Yeah.
You didn't know where to go, what to do, but that 2 weeks is just an adaptation period, isn't it? It only took you 2 weeks to get your shit together and just go sound.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I mean, I've been open and honest in the past about my mental health. I've suffered in the past with depression and whatever.
Yeah.
Quite chronically as well.
Yeah.
So I'm quite open in that. I'm happy to talk about it. No shame, do you know what I mean?
It affects loads of people, and the reason why I know that is because if I had a body and a face like yours and I looked in the mirror, it stopped me being depressed. And you fucking hell, mate, I've got wonky ears, I look like fucking Nemo. When I swim, I go in a circle, so I'd borrow your head.
I've got your ears though, well, to a degree.
Fucking hope not. You don't want them, mate. But I know, you know, it's one. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're about, or what people think you're about, does it? I mean, no. It's affected the most powerful and strongest of people. Now, going back to that, I've started getting involved in men's mental health program and got took on by Michelle, as you know, who I now every Wednesday I sit down with some guys who've got some mental health problems, and it's obviously being created from what's happened with the pandemic, and a lot to that. The class is getting bigger and bigger every week. But I find myself discussing things with these guys who are struggling, and I've got to be honest with you, mate. I'm quite the bastard. I'm quite the person who won't want to put his arm around you for gaining weight, obviously unless it's medical or psychological. I'm the guy who'll say, no, I'm not having that. Tomorrow's another day, let's fucking hit it and hit the floor running. I don't want to hear your complaints. But with this, it's taught me to be a little bit more passive, because understandably, with the pandemic going on, we all have to open our hearts a little tiny bit more now, don't we? And say, all right, look, there is an issue. It's been proven that there's an issue. Let's attack that issue rather than attacking the fat issue or the obesity or anything. We're trying to attack the psychological side now, aren't we? And which we've all proved in some way, shape or form. We've all been massively affected.
Unprecedented times. How many times have you heard that in the last few months? That's what it is.
Quite as often as it.
Don't ever hear words. It's a long words, isn't it? Just goes there normally. And you know, it's sometimes I sit here and look, I'm going to go into the different side, the negative side of this now, and this is the show. So we speaking about it this morning. I don't care whether you want to admit it. It's fact. It happened, okay? Because I nearly fucking done it myself. Now, we've got the side of things where people are genuinely affected. But let's fucking have it now. Someone's taking the piss with this, but this poor pandemic is fucking sitting there like the middle child in a caravan getting told off for everything. It's getting the blame for everything, even things that have got nothing to do with life, style, or whatever. Oh, it's the pandemic.
Yeah, I think obviously there's something else to just point the finger at, innit?
Of course.
When people have trouble trying to take responsibility for certain things, and I think with something like this, with it being unexpected and whatever, everyone's heads up in the air. And that's the closest thing to point to.
Let's also accept that some people take the easy way out. Look, I know we don't want to be them guys that say that, but no matter what you say, there is people who will always take the easy way out in life.
Yeah.
And there's been a few people who've pressed the snooze button and pretend the kid's got a cough so they don't have to go to school. I'm fucking telling you now. Do you know why I know? 6 o'clock in the morning, the alarm goes off and you're like, did you just hear the baby cough? No one ever, you know, bed. Get up and take them to school. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so, but no, in reality, there's some things that have to be answered. Some people do have to stop taking advantage of a certain situation because there is people who are really, really affected.
Yeah, it's the businesses that I fell for.
Yeah,
the closure. I've seen so many independent local businesses who were thriving before, and then if there's something like this has happened, then it's just really shut things down. And I feel for them type of people because, you know, you're putting all your efforts into something and then it's taken away from you, and it's no fault of your own.
I agree. Now, you work 100%. In that industry alongside people who have got businesses that are thriving with groups of people. I was working with Raven Fit. You do the hit step, and obviously you do your classes and boot camps and PT, and so we'd all work around these certain people. Do you know who have also been affected? The professional fighters in the city. We've only just Derry Matthews and Jazza Dickens have just been it with a positive. Now, before I go into this and act as though I know what I'm talking about, because I don't, if you get tested for coronavirus and you're positive for coronavirus, are you positive for COVID-19?
No, because, like we said before,
So, where do we differentiate now coronavirus from flu, cold? So this is going to be the touchy bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
it's the flu season. Therefore, we all work in gyms and open places where it's going to be quite cold. We've all been lying there, cosy, warming our nuts up. Next minute, the weather's flipped. We all, at this time, get a cold or a bit of flu, don't we? So would we test positive for coronavirus if we just had a fever, a little bit of a cold, a bit of flu? Do we know? Do you know? Do you think it's something we should look into? Should we go science, go to university, have a look? I can speak to some people. I don't know.
well, there's so much rumour around the test itself. Someone told me the other day that they were in line to be tested. They were in the queue for an hour, and you know, as you can imagine, people just can't be arsed with it. So
I know as a fact, one guy who went to Milan, got a positive, got off the plane in London, and got a negative.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
what
that
I'm
as
saying.
a
We'll get
fact.
on this though. Like the people who were in the queue didn't even have to test. 2 days later, I got a text to say, "You've been tested positive. You haven't even had the test."
See,
So what's happening with that? You know what I mean?
I think that's not adding to people's... Because if there is a virus out there that we should be worried about...
Yeah, that's
no
adding
one's
to
gonna
people's
be bothered
anxieties.
because
it's
it's
causing fucking
well, I'm
murder, isn't
positive.
it? It's like-
You know, these people have tested positive that have not shown a symptom. They're just because they've come across, they've had to get tested.
This is why
some reason.
we're
So
going to
it's
go back to that again, though, Jace. Do you not think maybe we're all going to get a positive because you've got a bit of flu, got a car? I don't know. You know, it's a virus, isn't it?
yeah.
It can be small, it can be big.
I think sometimes as well, I've noticed in the past as well, when I've had my own stuff going on, actually, when people come to me with the problem, it's deflecting my own, and I feel better about helping someone else with theirs. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to look at my own then. I can kind of hide behind it a little bit and focus on someone else's problem and try and sort that out.
It's
And
supposed to be not that great, though, is it?
no.
I'm exactly the same as you. Like, I just take everyone else's problems on because then, not that I haven't really got any big problems with them little problems that just nag.
To be fair
It's
to
just
you, though,
easy for me
Jace,
just to avoid it and have someone else sort theirs. Because then in time, that mine's only a little problem, it's gone then.
yeah, Jace looks like he never gives a fuck, though, doesn't he?
He's so laid back.
Oh, mate, if you were any more laid back, you'd fall over, mate.
Probably would.
Honestly, like Jace, just like, listen, Jace, you just lost your job. Jace is like, Listen, honest to God, mate, Jace
Stress isn't good. There's
You'd
no
hate to be
stressing.
Jace's bird, wouldn't you? Like, imagine being Jace's fucking bird. Oh, babe, we've got no money, so pay the... Oh, fuck off, love. He just looks like he doesn't give a shit, doesn't he? It's probably a really good way to
It
be,
probably
isn't
is.
it?
It is, like, I just don't get stressed. Like, even like all the awards, and it's getting easy because I've got the team that do for me now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, fair
at
play.
the start, I just was. Everyone's like, "You're not stressed." Well, no, because
Stress is just like a rocking horse, mate. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and
It
forth.
doesn't,
and you're going
it doesn't
nowhere.
help the situation, does it? So there's no point. That's why I look at it like, what'll be, won't it? So if it's something happens
It's a good
on the night,
attitude to have,
it's just-
Jace.
Of course, yeah, it is. It is.
I wish I was like you a little
I'm the
bit.
same, because I'm stressed.
Yeah, I am. I'm stressed.
I worry about the smallest things, I really do. So, in all agreement, where the pandemic's concerned, you know, we've all been affected by it massively. You know, the public are massively affected by it. We would like to see the public come together a little bit more, if I'm honest with you. I don't think we've got it right just yet. Where it's concerned. I don't think, I mean, because you know what does me head in? If I'm honest with you, on a personal basis, you know what does me head in? I watch things like when Hillsborough happened and how the city came together, and it was, wow, it's an emotional, as I read more. In fact, no, it's not as a Bluetooth because it was a city thing, but it was so emotional, wasn't it? Watching the years of battling and thinking to yourself, we're different in this city.
Yeah.
There's something about us that's a little bit different from everybody else. Call us what you want, but we stick together. And the only thing that's probably breaking my heart so much about this at this point is it doesn't seem to be happening with this.
No.
And that's the only thing that's probably affecting me with this pandemic, to be fair.
I think more so now, actually, in recent times than previous, because it's the mask situation that's going on at the minute. People are walking around with masks, other people aren't, and there's like an ongoing back and forth about why aren't you wearing a mask, and then there's why are you wearing a mask.
Yeah,
It's happening a lot of the time. Everywhere I go, I see people snarling each other in the aisles and Asda. There's a lot of confusion going on, and they don't need to be battling each other so much.
No,
you know
I think
what
it is. It's because there's nothing. nothing certain.
The rules are different.
Like, in the past, there's always been something certain so that the city could come together over it. Whereas, because it's do mask out, do they not?
This is now
is it
coming.
real? Is it not? There's too much uncertainty. So, and probably because people haven't been in work, they've been furloughed, they've been doing their own research on YouTube and finding different
finding all
things
kinds of stuff.
and then they've convinced themselves. So then, not everyone's on the same page as like we have been, like over Hillsborough. The whole city was on the same page so that they could come together.
No fair play.
Whereas I think it's just the uncertainty that it's just drifting people away.
So what do we know about masks? What do we know? My
Far as I know,
Yeah.
far as I know, do you not think the masks has been going on forever? They've been doing this in Asia for years.
I don't
Well,
really agree with
that's
the
my
mask.
point because
Do you know what I mean? No, well,
You put your mask in your pocket and you put it back on.
there's no solid research to say that they work 100% at all.
they can't be that good because they wear them in China all the time.
Whatsoever, is there?
No.
To say they work
No.
because you got a cotton one and a cloth one, and
Yeah.
both scientific arguments are completely in a different range from each other. So some are wearing cloth, some wearing paper. Now, what they also say is that with this virus, you're not supposed to touch because that's how we contaminate. You get your mask, you put it in your pocket, you take it out, and you put it back on to go into a shop. In the shop, the shopkeepers haven't got masks on. Some of them have a little plastic bag. And to be fair, you know, the coronavirus has said, hasn't it, to people, look, if you've got a plastic window, I'm not going to go round it. I'm just gonna knock through the window and let you know I'm fucking coming as soon as this goes down. Do you know what I mean? So and the reason why we can make silly jokes up like that is because it's fucking embarrassing. Some of the rules that we've got. Boris starting a fucking pandemic on a Tuesday when Monday's fucking available. You know, it's nice that they both shook hands on that as well and said, look, let's scrap Monday. We're all on the ale Sunday, so we'll have a day off. Tuesday, we'll go back to war. Do you know what I mean? So with things like that, we're all sitting there then thinking, how serious is this? And
that's
what
what I mean.
if the conspiracy theorists have actually got a point?
Yeah.
Because if it was
How
that serious,
many of them conspiracy theories have you read throughout all this?
they love it.
Yeah.
There's
Some
so
of them are
many,
far-fetched
so many of
though.
them.
But I've got what this has come from university, and I have got something that I'd like to say that will bring us all into the idea of thinking what's going on. I promise you. Let me just explain why. Because, let's say for argument's sake, how many times have the public said to the government, you didn't plan for that, did you? And then the public have given the government loads of abuse for not planning. Agreed? Now, with that, what we've come to is that the public, the government, they're saying, right, we've tried herd immunity, that didn't work. We're trying this, it didn't work. We'll try this, it didn't work. And along the way of the public trying to figure out a really good way to, one, protect the public from the virus, two, to get rid of the virus, three, to make sure that everybody's safe, blah, 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 while they're testing these little things out, we're slating everything they've tested that hasn't worked. But what if they're just planning to make it work eventually? What if they're just planning for something bigger? What if something in the future could happen that we can't control, but we're fortunate enough to have the government actually planning now?
Can't see it, Paul. Can't see it, mate.
Fucking
I've got
old here, lad.
no idea. No idea
old
how
here.
you've got hold of that, mate.
Think of it like that,
The government haven't got a clue what they're doing.
That's the whole point, the planning. They're trying to fix it. That's
Yeah,
what I
but
mean.
It's
You
like,
can't fix something if you don't try.
I know, but I think they're just trying to fix a problem with another problem.
I think by trying to fix the problem, they're making more problems
Exactly.
for themselves.
But if you don't try and fix a problem, how the fuck do we fix the other problem? That's a mask up.
For me, I just look at the other countries, mate. The other countries have solved this problem so better than what we have. There's no escape from that. You know what I mean? There's just no escaping the fact that
We
there's
don't know
other
what's going on in
European
the countries.
countries.
We don't get their version of events.
Maybe
we should, though.
We get the Facebook version.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what we wanted to talk about. We wanted to go into food prep, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we want to help, one, the public advertise themselves, and two, we also want to rate each other's food against each other, don't we? And it's not because like anything other than fuck it is. We just want to know who's best, don't we? So we've all got our own food sponsor. Who sponsors you, Kev?
No one currently sponsors me food wise.
Eddie fucking do now.
I used to get a lot of things off Enzo Nutrition.
Boss him,
and he's a boss lad. Enzo, I really like him as well.
He's quite big in the food prep game.
I know. So yeah, I used to get a lot of stuff off Enzo. Highly recommend. He's got a little cafe in Garston as well.
That's right, yeah, I've been. It's good. What about you, Jace?
See, over the years, I've had to just try different ones. But lately, I'd say it's more indigo greens.
They're quite unique, them, aren't they?
Yeah, they're quite unique.
I get sponsored by a girl called Cassie. She does Cassie Power Prep. She's actually been my sponsor for a long time. And I enjoy what she does for me because she kind of correlates my food around my lifestyle.
Yeah.
So what we'll do, guys, and if you want to send something into us, next week we're going to be doing some food tasting, which is going to be boss, isn't it? So we'll bring it in. You bring Enzo's in. Who are you bringing in? Indigo
Greens.
So we'll do that then next week. And again, what's going on in the city? I did want to mention that he's a good mate of ours, Lee, but he's a good guy. He's just started his own radio station, hasn't he?
Seen
that.
That's going to be boss.
Yeah,
Now,
in demand.
I think that this is exactly what the city needs to have a little bit of boost of fun and content. Now, years and years ago, how old are you, Kev?
No, lad. What a personal question to ask me.
Why do you haven't got tits?
30.
You're 30. And how old are you, Jace?
30.
Sound, you're not grounded, aren't you? Bastards, why just put me in the middle then? So I'm an old bastard, okay. Now, I don't know whether you remember the 051.
Do you know what? It was. I think it was just a couple years before my time.
That's probably why you're now.
I must have snuck out a few more because I remember it.
Do you remember it?
Just before it was gone. So I must have been sneaking out.
I think they were my days. And the reason why I'm mentioning Lee, obviously it's not related to fitness, but it is because he does Raven Fit.
Yeah.
To help with the, obviously he does a lot in the community with fitness. And secondly, this is what people need. This radio station is like all the rave tunes.
I read his caption, and
I
think he's struggling with his input, with what he was getting at Radio City. He wants to put his own stamp on things and get the old tunes back.
So what I would suggest is if you are feeling a little bit pissed off and a little bit depressed, just tune in because it is funny. And some of the things that Butler comes out with, he's probably been hanging around with me way too much because he comes out with some absolute corkers, mate. He's a genuinely funny guy. He is. I don't know if you see, did you see that little video we done while he was on holiday?
Dancing around the pool.
And the Evertonians, because he's a red, the Evertonians have put a song in the background with him fucking dancing. Oh, the fucking nailed him. And in the city itself, we can't really comment on what's going on because this is our first podcast and we need you to help us where this is concerned because at the end of the day, we can't advertise it unless you fucking inbox us. So what we're going to do is put the emails on, let us know what's going on, what's, whether you'd like us to talk about it, and we'll take it from there. But at this point now, which I'm actually quite excited about getting involved in this bit, and it's called The Spotlight. And this is not only going to be a really confident conversation, this is going to make everybody feel great, isn't it? So we're going to let you start this because this is Kev Poole's client. We'll take turns each week to talk about somebody. Don't have to be a client, but at this point, this guy genuinely deserves the comments he's about to get. So have a little listen to this, guys.
Yeah, so this week for Spotlight, I would like to draw some attention to a client of mine, Thomas Dreyer, who's literally undergone a life-changing and life-saving transformation. I've known the guy since we were little kids in school, and I'm very open and honest about the conversations me and him have had, and he's always been the biggest lad, the biggest person that I've ever known, being weighty all of his life, and growing up and whatever, he's got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and he's had problems. Now, I caught up with him last year and I said to him, listen, let's get together. He'd seen a previous client of mine who'd made some serious weight losses and transformations, a lady called Rachel. And so being in a situation where he's a lot bigger than most other people, he knew it was possible to change it.
Yeah.
So we sat down and we went through some stuff and I told him I'd change his life. And that's exactly what we've done. The guy's lost 10 stone in under 12 months.
Now, we've got a photo of this here as well.
We've got a photo, which we'll put up.
Do you know what, right? I don't think people understand how serious it is to lose this much weight. And it don't mean how seriously hard it is. Because although it's hard, it's a daily day. Don't forget, this is a lifestyle, not a hobby. This guy now, and I know as a fact that this guy is cholesterol below, his chance of getting heart disease is lower, his lung capacity is higher, and he's able to probably run around with his children and maybe walk his daughter down the aisle if he's got one. But what I mean is that this isn't just a lifestyle change. This is giving him days on his life.
It's a journey that we've both shared. I feel like I've been on that journey with him the whole step of the way. And not even that, it's after the weight loss that he obviously changed completely. He's a new man, but also something which does often happen with excess weight loss is the skin.
Can we ask you how you did it? What?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know,
So my approach to a client is very individualised. So I need to get onto their level, see how they work. Now, me and you spoke in the past.
yes.
And your views are a little bit different to mine. I'm the type of guy.
I'm aggressive.
You're like military style. You're like, right, come on, let's get to it type thing.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person who put my arm around you. I'll give you an avenue to move out of, and I'll give you something in return.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I work. And that's what I've done with him.
It does work.
It does, of course it does. Of course it does.
Now, it doesn't mean that because you've got a different approach to things that doesn't work. It doesn't mean that. It's just people expect that from me, so they come to me for that.
Yeah.
People expect that from you. That's your type of clientele. Same goes for you, Jace, you know.
Yeah.
So we've all got clientele based on how people like to be treated. Some people need you to drag them out of bed by the head.
Yeah.
I don't really go to people's houses and
No, you just bring them to the tent.
I'll pull you there in me tent. No, but what I mean is people have their own way of dealing with things. Some people need to be told, and some people need to have an arm around them, and that doesn't mean it's right nor wrong. And Kev's proved on many occasions that he's definitely for me, and the reason why he's sitting on this couch next to me, and the reason why I'm sitting on this couch next to Jace is because he's a 10 out of 10 PT in my opinion. So that speaks volumes in what he's just done, and that's fucking fantastic. And I want to give a massive congratulations to this guy, and if he was here now, I'd hug him.
Well, you know what? I'll get him on as a guest at some point.
That'd be good.
I think his story would actually inspire a lot of people in his current position.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
It would,
Because it's hard for people who were at a level that he was to come forward. Do you think the mountain's too high to climb?
Of course.
See, I feel because I can vouch for it, like the story behind it, because I first come across Tom in the awards.
Yeah.
Before I knew that he was your client, came across, seeing he was nominated, just looked at the transformation. I was like, you could see instantly how life changing it was, and then obviously. I only knew some of the story because I didn't know. But getting to like when I knew it was your clients, and then I've seen the stories that you've both done, and
It goes deeper.
It's
not just a superficial story where the guys come in and just lost loads of weight. He didn't just decide to lose loads of weight.
No.
It's taken graft, and we've been through a bit of we've been to war with it.
It doesn't work like that. What you'll find, guys, is if you want a small insight into a personal trainer, what you see on social media might be our sales pitch to get you to come and train with us because we know we can benefit you, we know we want to help, and we know we're good enough to give you what you need. But on the other hand, what you don't see is the phone calls in the morning when they're upset, the visits to the home
It's
when
the
needed.
aftercare, innit?
Yeah, and this all does come, even from me, believe it or not, more than most. You'll be surprised. So we don't put up with anything. We adhere to their plan. It's not putting up with it because we like to listen. We like to hear their version of events, and we like to take on their problems, which also helps them. We take their problems on, which help them have time to be able to fix what they feel is broke. Would you agree on this? I have become not just a personal trainer, a little bit of life coach.
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you feel the same way? Because obviously people relate to you and want to offload with you. Therefore, it's quite simple to... you get emotionally attached.
You
Don't
do.
you? You get really... I mean, they become families, don't they? They become... When somebody's not there and you're like, why? I want to know. I mean, I'm like, where are you? I've not turned up. I'm not well. I'm not fucking good enough. You're not well. Tell me why you're not well. Oh, fuck, right, okay, sorry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we dig deep, don't we? We dig deep, we suck it out of them and we make it happen. But once again, massive congratulations to you. Fair play to you, mate. And it's not to shake his hand for you.
Pass it on.
Don't be leaning over and necking me on the slide. But you know what, mate? To you as well, as this guy, absolutely fantastic. I feel as though you've saved life, and I feel as though he's got an amazing future because of that.
And also, I feel other people have got amazing futures because of that. Off the back of him, another guy has contacted me because of the situation Tom was in. It has a knock-on effect. It's like dominoes.
Yeah, it's a general idea.
And his circumstances are the same. He's got a lot of weight to shift, and he's already, after 5 months, he's 5 stone down. So he's already making waves, and that's
fantastic.
That's the direction that we want to take with all people who've had excessive weight changes.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's the reason why I'm in the job now. Obviously, moving forward, each week everyone's going to have their own spotlights on each clientele, and that's fantastic. But I think we're gonna have a bit of fun now, aren't we? A bit of fun. We need the fun now, don't we? Okay, so we're all going to get naked. No, only Kev is. Just
Only
Kev
if
is.
you're in your tent, though.
Hey, this tent keeps popping up, you know. Even I'm beginning to think things are happening in this tent that I was unaware of. Okay, so guys, this is the part where we're going to do the quiz. We're going to have a quiz. We're going to be getting asked questions we haven't got a fucking jar of glue about, apparently, which is going to be quite fun. Now, what else we need to talk about is that every couple of weeks or every month we're in the process of deciding how it's going to work. We're going to have challenges, aren't we? We're going to get given challenges by the production company who are sitting in front of us. And I've got to be honest with you, you're the weirdest pair of fuckers I've ever seen in your life. Have you ever saw a couple of lads get so fucking excited over equipment in your life? I mean, this guy here has just been going since somewhere. What kind of range and speed have you got on that? I thought he was talking about a fucking dildo, mate. It was a camera. They were both surrounded on the camera. Like, what lad, his fucking testicle was on this thing, and he's like, mate, come on. So these two pair of shits are going to come up with some challenges for us, aren't we? And what we've got this week, Ben's going to come with us. And you come as well. You enjoy it, you know, mate. We're going on.
Yourself after that, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you.
We're going on the driving range, aren't we? And at the end of the season, we're going to accumulate all our points, and there's going to be a forfeit. Which again, we're going to leave to the production team to be able to decide what we have to do. Now, I'm going to put my hand up now, and I'm not running around town naked.
That's because you want us to ask you to do that now, innit?
I don't.
You just put the idea in his head.
No, I just know that you get a bit creepy, don't you? You know, I mean, you've just been talking about doing an OnlyFans page, you know.
No, yeah.
So that's where we're headed. We're going to have our challenges. You'll get to see it on the show. We're also going to be going live as well soon as well,
Yes.
which is going to be quite fun because on this one, even though it's slightly edited, we fucked up a few times. So there's quite a lot to come, but we're going to finish off with a quiz. And we've got to, we're going to start bringing special guests, aren't we?
Yes. Get them.
else?
As soon as we get them confirmed, then they will be announced.
So we've covered what needs to be covered for our fit. This is our introduction to the fitness feed, and we will be able to tell you more about what's going on in the city, what's going on with personal trainers in the city, and what's going on with gyms in the city when they actually reach out to us, because PTs have got massive egos, and at this point they're like, them two fucking pricks do sitting on that fucking chair, I should be there. So guys, work with us. We're only here for you. We're only here to elevate your platform. We're not the type of guys who are interested in bringing anyone down. That is never going to happen, but we would like to advertise this because we believe the city is fantastic and full of loads of people who are great at what they do. So, get involved, give us a text, let's advertise you. Now for the quiz.
Right, ready? Question 1. Who is the top goal scorer in Premier League history?
History. Alan Shearer.
Correct. Paul, got multiple choice here. How many years has Coronation Street been going
Are
for?
you taking the piss, mate?
Is it A, 50 years, B, 60 years, or C, 70 years?
Mate, are you on smack?
You wanted random questions,
I
Paul.
actually know that.
You ask and
I
you shall
know it, I
receive.
I think I know it, yeah.
That's why I didn't balance.
I mean, at the end of the day, we've got a 1 in 3 chance of getting it right.
Yeah.
Who the fuck am I in the middle of here? Fucking Norris! How the fuck do you know how long Coronation Street's been on telly? You
Take
just
a
said
guess.
you did. I'll say
Take a guess.
50, fuck it.
Incorrect. It's B, 60.
I was right.
I was wrong.
Did you think the 70?
Yeah, I thought 70.
Right, Jace. Name 3 Oasis albums.
Oh, that's smashed.
Wonderwall.
Yeah, I'm on that, me, lad.
Albums.
That's a song,
Isn't a song be an album?
Nah.
An album.
Oh, yeah, it can be.
Yeah, it
That's
can be,
not-
but in
that's
this
not.
instance...
Yeah, it can be, but it's not.
She's got it wrong there, hasn't he? Click on then.
Go on, you get 4 tries, you got 3 left.
Come on, lad, you're the Fit Pro boss. Can't be a boss and fuck shit up, lad.
I've not got a clue. Is this something called Chasing?
Nah, it's alright. Kev, you winning 1-0. Right. Round 2. What was the first name of Everton Football Club?
I don't know, to be honest, on that.
None.
I'm not a blue, to be fair.
Because you're smiling there.
Hey, was it not Anfield?
No, that's the ground you're in.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew the ground.
No, they were called St Domingo FC.
I did know that. I did know that.
Yeah. Right, Paul. You can be 5 foot out. How tall are the lava buildings?
Wait a minute, mate. Right, let me just have a little conversation with you about what the fuck you're throwing at
You,
me.
lads, I said what you want, and you went just
Anything.
complete random
Ask me anything,
questions.
lad.
So I have made up 15 random questions.
I didn't even know everything.
What?
30 feet, isn't it?
30 feet long. It's 18. The arrogance. Right, Jace, you ready?
All right then.
Which film won the Academy Award for Best Picture this year?
Hey, we haven't even watched film, have
Have we
we?
been a film out in 2020?
Proper
It's,
pandemic film,
the
innit?
Academy Awards are done in January.
Proper film buffs again, aren't they? How is it again?
Greatest Showman.
Parasite it was.
What's it called?
Parasite. It's like a foreign film. It got Best Picture. You wanted random questions, lad, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna fucking land at him after this.
I'm walking home, mate. Right.
Okay.
Right, okay, go on.
What year did Michael Jackson die?
Fucking hell, lad. Hey,
Wait.
people saying he's still alive.
He's with Tupac and Biggie, innit?
Hey, that's the question.
2008.
2009.
Oh!
25th of June, 2009.
Fair play.
Right, Paul. Fuck's sake. Right. I'm going to get back to the end, mate. Right. So you can be 50 off. How many miles away from where we are now is the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, so this is funny because I know when there's a shit question coming because you have to give me a break and go, you can be 50 off.
He's giving you the chance.
I've got it in brackets. You can be 50 off, give or take 50
In feet or miles?
miles.
This is a joke, this.
As if there's a difference.
I don't
Put it in your Google Maps, lad.
I Google Mapped it, lads. Fucking hell.
That's what he would have done.
2,000.
No, 429.
I know.
Yeah.
I meant there and back.
Right, Jace.
You'll get us this stuff,
What
yeah.
film has grossed the most in box office history? What's made the most money?
Titanic.
Correct.
You fucking made okay.
It was Titanic until last year.
Oh, I see.
What is it?
It's Avengers Endgame.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
he was right previously.
Yeah.
Last year.
You were right a year ago.
Did you watch Titanic?
No.
Did you like it? Have you not seen it? Haven't you? No. It's weird, isn't it?
It's because you cried.
Hey, it's funny because they're on like a nice block at the end, right? And she goes, I'll never let go. And it just like pushed them off. Typical fucking bear, did
both can fit on there as well.
Yeah, there for the rest of your
Yeah.
life. It pushed them off, didn't she?
Right. Kev, you ready?
From Kenny here.
I think this gives you the win as well if you get this. How many Harry Potter films are there?
You're a shit, oh shit. He's a proper fucking Harry Potter geek, isn't he?
You know,
When he goes
I've
out, he
seen-
draws a light.
Wait.
Gryffindor scarf on.
As on these with Slytherin written on them.
Kev Gryffindor.
I'm gonna go with. I'm stuck between two numbers, but I'll say 8.
Correct. It is 8.
Bingo! Winner!
It is all over.
That was shit.
But we'll just carry on anyway. Right. How many European Cups have Real Madrid won, Paul?
8.
13.
12.
Jace.
Tell him when Liverpool won.
Yeah. How many gold medals has Michael Phelps won in the Olympics?
I know that.
12.
No.
That good. You fucking got arms, not fucking. Not an octopus, mate.
Well, he's won 23.
I was gonna go 5, lad.
Right. You can just take the piss here now. You can be
Yeah,
miles
man.
ahead, do you know what I mean? You'll be able to fill a title race. Right.
Yeah. What are you gonna give him now, mate? What's Tom's?
Which song? Which song has spent the most at the top of the UK charts for the most weeks at the top of the
Say
UK
it again,
charts?
sorry, Ben, sorry.
Which song has spent the most at the top of the UK charts? Spent the most weeks
Ever?
ever? I know.
I think I've got an idea. You know.
You're already tuned it up. That's good sound. You know what I mean?
It's not gonna be anywhere near recent, I don't think.
It's not daft. It's
shut the
it's
fuck
since the
up.
turn of the 2000s.
How was it?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Brian Adams. You know, it's.
I think he was like
everything.
he's high up there.
It's since the 2000s.
It's since the 2000s.
Cotton Eye Joe, mate.
Barbie girl.
It's a tough one, that.
As soon as I say it, you'll be like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Oh my god.
I didn't know it, to be fair.
Do you know the song though?
Yeah, everyone knows the song.
If you sing the song, you get an extra point.
We've got to get the answer right to do
It's
that.
just one of them songs that everyone knows.
Well, clearly fucking not, because there's 3 fucking.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was
Curly
the
Larry and
highest.
Mo, I've got a fucking clue what's happening here. Michael Phelps has had 5 fucking medals. Kev fucking Slytherin's winning 2-0.
That's hard, you know. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna have to put a random guess out and just say Fuck knows.
I don't know. That was the most random.
Yeah, do you want me to give you like a genre?
Yeah, because Paul's been having clues, you know.
Right, so,
He has,
right, so,
I got asked how far it is from the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
It's in a fucking podcast studio.
But you could have had... How many miles could you have?
50, we could have 50 miles out.
No one's ever counted the
I'm the one
podcast
that's never had
studio to the
clues.
fucking Eiffel Tower.
I've had no clues. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've had easy questions.
Give him a clue. He's one anyway.
I haven't got one
Right, yeah.
Give me a clue.
It's like, it's a rock song.
Oh, fucking hell, that doesn't make fucking no odds.
Aerosmith.
No. It's Mr. Brightside.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah.
Is that
The Killers?
Yeah, The Killers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard it.
You know, I can't play it
How
because,
does
you
it
know.
go? Sing it.
No. I'm not even going to try. I went to do it and thought, nah, bottle that. Right. Name the 4 Beatles, Paul.
John, Paul, Ringo, and George.
There you go. Bang, it's 2-1. I mean, it's over, but you know, it's 2-1.
Fuck you, lads.
Jace, who's the most successful team in English football?
Liverpool.
There we go.
Well,
2-1-1.
technically- Oh, yeah, we are.
No, it's Liverpool now officially, yeah.
It is, yeah, it was only just in last year, isn't it?
Yeah,
Hey, well, listen, boys. It's all about taking part in it, so know our feelings.
You're all winners.
You had clues.
Can we politely ask how we Vaselined you up and got them questions? please?
As it was the look of the
It
draw
was
where you
look at the
sat.
draw, you know.
Where you sat. I went from left to right.
He's a shit house, him,
At the end of the day, right, if they would have started with Jace, you still would have lost.
Yeah, so I was in the middle. Now, on the other hand, wait till the driving range, I'll get my own back then. I've had to go, I think we're both going to fucking...
How are you going to get?
I'm
How are
gonna
you
go
going to
every
get
day this week.
thingied on the driving range? How are you going to get classified like as the winner or what? What based on what?
Oh, 5 drive and stuff.
How far?
5 shots each.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, I need to look as far as drive.
Jace, you just got to get the ball out of the little hut, mate.
The achievement's the roof. So
Sounds like
as long as you get past that, I'm all right.
I know, like, get your balls out the little hut.
out the little tent.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to presume that that's it for this week. And next week, we're hopefully going to get guests. We're not going to promise guests because we bring quite enough to the table as it is. But there will be guests coming. We've got Paul Smith lined up, Nick Peat. We've got quite a lot of people who are interested in coming on, and we will get them in all in time. But at this point, this is about you. This is about the city. This is about the fitness feed. And a massive, massive thanks to Kev. Massive thanks to Jace. And I'm just going to sit here like a willy between two testicles and just enjoy the show.